Good morning, folks. Firstly, I'd like to thank the American Chamber and Miriam for hosting this beautiful event today. Some great stories being talked about here. As I said, my name is John Cooney. I'm from Boston Scientific in Clonmel, and we've basically got about 4,500 employees in Ireland, and we've just over 700 in our Clonmel facility. We make a wide variety of medical device products, and the products we make in Clonmel are pacemakers and ICDs, which I'll talk about later when we talk about some of our charity efforts. Again, the facility was set up by Digital back in the early 80s, and Guidance set up there in 1998, and then that was acquired by Boston Scientific several years ago. And we make 100% of all the pacemakers and defibrillators for Boston Scientific worldwide. CSR, similar to a lot of the previous presenters today, we've a wide variety of programs on site. We've a schools program where we've donated computers to various primary schools and set up labs for some of the primary schools in the area. We've also sponsored Student of the Year programs at some of the local secondary schools, where we actually give the recipient a summer placement work experience, which works out pretty well. We've science programs. And so we've a lot of programs in that space, but the one I want to specifically talk about is our charity efforts. So what we do is we have, similar to a lot of other companies here, we have a charity of choice where people nominate a charity of choice, and we find that a very engaging and rewarding practice where the employees get to choose their charity for our focus of events during the year. A lot of the events we do, similar to the Movember thing, I was volunteered for that. I have a little box in my office, so anybody who wants to slag me has to donate some money. So we've raised over 200,000 over the last 4 years in our charity efforts. And if you think about a company with 700 employees, the average about 50k a year is a pretty big number. 2010, I want to talk specifically a little bit about that, where we basically went about installing AEDs, which are external defibrillators in the local community. We thought, starting that year, we thought, historically the type of money we'd been raising through a lot of the charity events, we could come up with maybe 25 AEDs. And the beauty of this was, as well as people nominating, in previous years where people nominate one charity, that charity gets chosen, and then all our efforts are focused on that. But the really engaging thing about this was we basically got all of the employees to nominate where they wanted an AED to go. Right, so we ended up raising enough money to give out nearly 47 AEDs in total, and we got great engagement across the whole company, because people engaged in some charity event and raised specific amount of money, then they knew that they could get an AED or an external defib for their club or charity. Where did all the AEDs go? We said we gave out 47 of them, mainly around Clonmel, where the company is based. They went to some of the surrounding counties, which were basically where some of the employees were from. And if you think about, we had some of the groups that support the AED programs in the local towns come in and talk to employees. And in towns like Cashel, Carrick, Clonmel, we actually doubled the amount of AEDs that were actually available in the community. So that was very, very beneficial. And then the really interesting thing about this charity effort was, as a part of one of our quality initiatives every year, we have what we call as customer touch points. So as a medical device company making life-saving devices, we make implantable defibrillators. They basically, if someone's resuscitated from a heart attack, they could get an implantable defibrillator. If they have a medical condition where they're prone to get a heart attack, they get one of our devices. So we have a program where we actually try and get employees to get some kind of a customer experience during the year. And some of those might be where we have patients come and tell their stories, doctors come and tell their stories, we have engineers go and attend implants, and basically enforce what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. We're not making cars, we're making life-saving devices. And the interesting thing about this AED initiative, one of our engineers actually stood up at an all-employee event, and he was from a rural community in County Waterford, and he nominated his local hurling club and there was actually two engineers from the site were playing on this team, and unfortunately they had a fatality from heart failure on the pitch, and he got up and spoke about what it would have meant to his community and his team if they had an AED in their community, in their club, which they didn't have, and they were the first club that we gave the AED to, just part of that programme. So there wasn't a dry eye in the room when he was talking about what it meant to his club, and I kind of reinforced it to everyone, what the real benefit was to the broader community in giving out these AEDs, because they are life-saving devices, and they're very good to have as many of them around as conceivably possible. So I suppose in summary, as the company has grown in Clonmel, so is our commitment to giving back into our community. Even in the current climate, current economic climate, our charity efforts continue to strive. We've never failed to reach our financial target every year, so that works out pretty good. And I think going forward, we are going to use it as a great tool for getting huge employee engagement across the board, and we will continue to do it going forward. So thank you very much, folks.